Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 3 of our F1 25 My Team, where we're taking Lamborghini to the top of F1. We're coming off of another strong race weekend where we managed a 4th place finish. Colapinto not quite as lucky, just outside of the points, got 13th. But hopefully we can keep that momentum going at Suzuka. It is a track that I love driving. It's definitely a driver's track. Let's hop on into some research here before we hop into the race weekend. The secondary wing flaps for our aerodynamics did finish. We are now maxed in our aerodynamics upgrades. We do have a personnel upgrade though, which will unlock a new tier of aerodynamics. I think we're going to go ahead and focus on our chassis here because we still can't focus on our engine. We need to unlock the new tiers of developments here as soon as possible. Tire wear or weight reduction. Can we even have 2 upgrades at once? We cannot. So I don't think, wow, we actually cannot upgrade anything besides durability. So we're going to improve the ICE materials. We're going to spend a little bit just to hopefully make our ICE last a little bit longer as the year develops, which will help with maybe not taking a grid penalty towards the end of the year. Our beam wing is finished. We will have that upgrade on the car for both drivers for Suzuka. And then we can go ahead and start applying our secondary wing flaps, which will not be on the car until right before Saudi. Now we get to choose to give the upgrade to. Obviously, we have another rear beam wing finishing in one day, so we're not actually going to have to choose. But if we only had one part for the race weekend, we would either have to choose to give it to Correa or Colapinto. We're going to give it to Colapinto. Both will have it for the race weekend. But Colapinto is our #1 driver. Our pit crew training has finished, which will hopefully help deter slow stops that happened in the last race. That 2 seconds definitely hurt us. I don't think it really cost us in the grand scheme of things, but in a closer race, you definitely don't want that happening often, so that'll help. Now we're going to go ahead and apply this upgrade here, which will allow us to build 2 facility improvements at the same time in our engineering facility, which will allow us to upgrade our engineering facilities rapidly, which is really, really crucial because we really need to start getting more breakthroughs in other departments. Obviously, the aero breakthrough will happen soon. We have 17 days, 12 days left on this. After that, we'll probably apply the power breakthrough, the powertrain breakthrough, so we can unlock a new tier of powertrain upgrades. But if we could do both at the same time, obviously that would be massively beneficial. Little upgrade on the performance of the team. We are adding a new rear wing this weekend, so that should help as well. But we are the 5th best car on the grid still, substantially ahead of the likes of Aston Martin, Haas, Williams, really the best of the best of the rest. So we're fixated directly in the points every race weekend. We are the 5th best team, so theoretically we should be challenging for 9th and 10th at worst every race weekend. We have a decent car. We just got to make sure we're maximizing the car every single weekend. As far as our activities go, we are going to greatly increase the hiring rate by 50% in our engineering facility. Do we have space for anything else? We do in some of these, so we can increase the morale in one of the departments by decreasing morale in the rest of the departments. If we're going to do it in any of them, I think chassis is going to be the one we're going to do because we have the most upgrades available in it. We also have some chassis upgrades going on, so we're going to reduce the time taken to research chassis upgrades by 15%. So that should help us slightly. And we're going to go reduce the time taken to develop aero upgrades by 15%, which will help us with our wing flap upgrade. And yeah, that's huge. We're going to go ahead and slightly increase the morale in our aero department and also give us 50 resource points. Do the same thing in our powertrain and also our chassis. That's huge. So 150 resource points gained there and a nice morale increase for all the departments. For 7 days, we'll receive 100 resource points each day for $25,000. Sign me up. Then we'll go ahead and increase our fan rating for 20,000. Honestly, those were some really solid activities that I think will help us prepare for Suzuka. Now let's hop on in to FP1 for the Japanese Grand Prix. First, actually, let's see if this cable assembly passes. Getting a little ahead of myself, guys. which it does. The research,
it looks like a part we were developing has failed. I'm sorry to say we will need to revisit the development area and redevelop it. Sorry, Chief.
Wow. So now we will have to choose. So unfortunately, Korea will not, and that will also slow down the development of our secondary wing flap, which will make us choose again before Saudi, because that will pause the development of the secondary wing flap. That is a kink in our plans, but we'll work around it. Our cable assembly, we are going to go ahead and develop that. It'll be done right after Saudi, right before Miami. So that'll be nice. We do only have enough to throw one on the car. I don't know why it didn't give us a dual development. Okay, I guess we don't have dual development unlocked, but we have 2 slots unlocked. So if I somehow unlock the dual development trait, then using 1 slot, I believe, I'll be able to upgrade or develop 2 parts for the same car. So I technically, if I had that unlocked, I believe, if I'm correct, I would have been able to use both the beam wings in just 1 slot. And I would have been able to upgrade both the secondary wing flaps in 1 slot, and I wouldn't have had to wait. So that could be a crucial upgrade. That's definitely a facility upgrade that we need to look into. Now we're going to go ahead and throw on these heave dampers that will be finished researching right before Saudi, but we will have to develop them. So those will be on the car in quite a bit of time. Okay, now I think we're hopping in to FP1 for the Japanese Grand Prix.
Suzuka is an old-school favourite, an old seat of motorsport and a place where so many champions have been crowned. Let's get the weekend started then. It's practice in Japan.
Here we are for the first laps of the race weekend at Suzuka. We don't have the upgrade that our teammate has. He will be collecting the data on that. Hopefully it's a solid upgrade and will bring some a good amount of time to the car. That's the only thing I can hope for. I will have it next week. 9/10 up currently, but I did just remember this is the tire management practice program, so gotta make sure to keep these tires in a good window. I've been very thrilled with the performance of the Lamborghini too to start the year. The fact that we're able to just fight for podiums and points right away every race has made the start of this year thrilling. And a great start to the weekend here. We are for the fuel-saving practice program. This is honestly one of my least favorite practice programs there is. Will we have enough lap time and will we save enough fuel to stay in this purple range? 2 purple scores to start the weekend would be huge for our resource points. And I think we might get there. Let's go. What a start to the weekend.
Program complete and a job well done.
And here we are for our race strategy practice program. Get a perfect score here and we maximize our resource points for the race weekend. It's going to be our true test of pace. No qualifying pace practice program this week. So this is the one where we can really showcase our pace. Here we are, two and a half clean laps later. 8/10 up on the Delta. Looking to get our final perfect score of the race weekend. Hopefully we can. Maximize our resource points. Absolutely critical if we want to catch those top teams. Just under 6/10 up on the Delta.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
Practice has gone awfully smooth this race weekend. Hopefully we can carry that through the rest of the weekend. Oh, well, P8 and P11 and FP1 for Lamborghini. On the hards, Colapinto, 2/10 quicker than me. That is a promising sign for the rest of the race weekend. Obviously, we use no DRS or overtake to set that lap time on the mediums. The AI will always use DRS. So he definitely did use DRS down that long straight. Will that give him 2/10? Probably, but he is on the hard tire as well. So Colapinto looking quick as well with that upgraded rear wing. That's a promising sign.
A warm welcome, everybody, from a venue that has seen plenty of sensational laps over the years. Remember, Verstappen in 23, Vettel in 2019, some phenomenal pole laps. But whose will it be today?
Well, here we are for lap 1 in the wet in Q1.
We've just been pushed down into P18.
I do not have the biggest set of expectations. But we'll see how it goes. I've got a Ferrari right behind me. And I'm not really pulling away from them, so I'm definitely holding them up. I don't think the pace is that strong. I did put enough fuel in, though, for a few laps, and obviously we haven't even really formed a drier racing line yet. So the best laps will come towards the end of Q1. Definitely more of a dry line form now. We're just going to try to stay in that and maximize the speed and the grip. Gotta put a quick lap down here. We will have time for one more lap after this. Finding ton of grip in the dry line here.
Pushed down to P16.
How much time will everyone else find, though? We will have one more lap after this. All we need to do is get P16, though. And I believe Q3 is predicted to be dry, which will play in our favor massively. P2. Let's go. Everyone else will be improving by a ton, though, just like we did. So we're going to need to pick up even more on this lap for sure. We are improving, but slightly. Everyone, as they cross, is setting a faster and faster time as the track is drying out and picking up speed. Down to P9 we go. We're going to need to pick up here. We struggled on the throttle application there. 3/10 up, though. Oh, terrible run off the corner. How much will that cost us? Still 2/10 up. We're in P10. I think everyone's crossed the line. I think we've done it. Made it into Q2 here in the wet. Played the conditions perfect. Went out and set our lap time at the perfect time. 3/10 improvement here. Still P10. Well, that's through to Q2. That's all we needed. Colapinto barely squeaks through in P15. He put in a masterclass of a lap, though. So hopefully he can replicate that performance throughout the rest of qualifying and then the race. It's predicted to be sunny towards the end of this session. Everyone's going to be going out to set their laps now. Track is dry. Everyone's going to be on the softs. It will be low grip though. All the rubber washed away from the rain. All we need is a P10 here. Don't need to put it on pole,
Right, that's
just
us
need
down
to get a
into
top 10.
P16 now.
It's all going to come down to this. Qualifying is complete. What can we run? Gotta use all the battery this lap. Might as well. What's it gonna be? Open the DRS. P6. And we're through. Hopefully Colapinto did as well. A 29-1. That's pretty good. Especially coming out of the wet weather. Low grip on the track. And Colapinto's through. We're 6/10 quicker than him. But we're both through. That's all we can ask for. We're actually one of only 3 teams to have all 3 through to Q3. McLaren, Ferrari, and Lamborghini. Alright, our first run of Q3. We do have another new set of softs, so this will just be a good lap for a Delta. We're going to give it everything we got. Hopefully it'll be a fast one. But we'll have one more attempt after this. P3, quicker than Norris, a 28.759. I actually have 2 more sets of softs because Q1 was in the rain. So I can save 1 set of softs for the race in case we have a late safety car or something like that. Maybe even the strategy will be a 2-stop and we can use a set of softs. I'm not exactly sure how the tire deg will be, but I'm only going to go for 1 more run. I'm not going to use that extra set of softs. I think a lot of drivers will be in that same boat. Oh, a little too committed. Might as well just shut her down at that point. I think it's going to be P6. Not bad. Oh, warning for speeding in the pit lane. Hopefully, just a warning, so that's okay. Well, that's P6 for me and P9 for Franco. All 3 races this year, both Lamborghinis have made their way into Q3. Stunning form for both drivers. Colapinto does have that rear wing upgrade, and he is getting out qualified by me. That is why I gave him the rear wing upgrade, just so he would have a better chance to make it into Q3, have better positions, because if we have both drivers finishing in the points, that'll be huge. Little update before we head into the race, actually. We're P4 in the Constructors. Haven't really talked about it much. It is very early, and I don't think we'll be able to maintain over Mercedes. You never know, depending on how the upgrades go, but they have two really good drivers, obviously with Antonelli and Russell, so it will be tough. Same with Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren. It'll just be tough to really take on their consistency, but we're in the thick of things. Even only 17 points behind Red Bull, so P3 is not out of our grasp, but I think that's just a lot to reach for this year, but you always got to reach for the stars.
Welcome along then to the magnificent Suzuka International Circuit, a stone's throw away from Issa Bay in the beautiful Japanese countryside. What surprises lie in wait for us today at the Japanese Grand Prix? We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure-of-8 Suzuka circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at turn 1, although the best place for overtaking will be through 130R and into the final chicane. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Piastri, Russell, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Correa, Norris, Albon, Colapinto, and Gabriel Bortoleto, Tsunoda, Lawson, Pierre Gasly, and Ocon, Behrman, Doohan, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Nico Hülkenberg, Stroll, Hadjar, Fernando Alonso, and Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And striding into our commentary box to join us today, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Davidson. Glorious Suzuka. It's a bit like Silverstone, an iconic track for which we couldn't have an F1 season without it. And so much for the drivers to think about around here.
Absolutely, Crofty. The only figure-of-8 circuit that we have on the calendar, and you kind of wonder, why don't we have more? Because it's such a good format. The drivers love this track. It's got a great flow to it, a fantastic circuit. Not the best for overtaking, but my goodness, from inside the car, it's a real treat for the drivers.
Okay, this is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix, which means there's a lot of very important people here behind the scenes. I'd love to give them a strong result to watch today, plus a good result might make my post-race meetings a little bit easier.
You know, I actually did forget about that. We are powered by Red Bull Honda engines, which their home is Japan, so we definitely need a strong race weekend here. Good thing we had a strong Q3, both drivers in the top 10 already. Hopefully we can have a solid race and keep them there. I think I'm going to go ahead and go mediums to hards and do that strategy, but just backwards and go for the one stop. The one stop is projected to be 13 seconds faster, 11 seconds faster than our projected default strategy. So, I mean, I think that's just the way to go. And let's see how it plays out. Here we are for the formation lap. Max Verstappen, always finding the form in qualifying around Suzuka. It is truly a driver's track where confidence matters, and you really gotta sling it through the corners, especially those high-speed corners. That really is where Max always excels in that Red Bull, the high-speed corners. So, obviously able to capitalize and put his Red Bull on pole again here in Suzuka. Both the McLarens struggling. P3, P7 on the grid. Not finding that early season form you'd expect. We definitely have a good mix of strategies here. Russell on the hards, Hamilton on the softs, definitely going for a two-stop. I'm on the mediums, Norris on the hards. So I almost could have started on the hards and potentially tried to match Russell's pace, but I will have the better softer tire than him right here at the beginning. No telling how long it'll last. But we will see how it plays out. Hamilton will be quick right away on those softs, but I don't know how long he'll be able to keep up with us. If he can keep those softs in a good window and make them last, he'll be something to be reckoned with for sure. Here we are under those 5 red lights, getting ready for Honda's home race. And it's lights out, and away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix as the McLaren struggles off the line there. Can Russell and me go under Piastri as I think he was forced off there by George slightly. We're able to capitalize on it though, as Lewis Hamilton up to P3 on those soft tires. A dream start for him. And it's lights out, and away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix as it's a drag race into turn 1 between Charles Leclerc as Max Verstappen, as Charles Leclerc gets an amazing launch off the line and Oscar Piastri goes wide, which opens the door for Colapinto on those soft tires to make his way through past both McLarens. What a dream start for Charles Leclerc and Franco Colapinto. As both the Ferraris, first and third, Charles Leclerc able to jump Verstappen there on the start. I believe Leclerc starting on the softs as well. Both Ferraris going for the different strategy, trying to capitalize on that softer rubber and gain some track position here at the start. We need to try to get by Russell as quick as we can. He is really holding us up on those hard tires, I can already tell. Right on his diffuser, a lot quicker as Colapinto, starting on the softs, is now up to P6. Wow. Wow, what a start to the Grand Prix. We're going to have to try to make our way by Russell here. We can't hold up Colapinto. Oh, we're able to squeeze to the outside. Russell didn't want to leave us space, but we forced him to. And we're able to capitalize. Here we are sizing up George Russell in that Mercedes for a lap 1 pass. Grabbing the slipstream, using the battery. We're just able to place our car out on the outside. He has to leave us the space. And we have much more grip on those medium tires as Russell is not quite able to get him up to temperature. Use the ERS to finish off the move.
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled.
Now we got to try to space it out. Capitalize on the better tire here and try to build a gap on Russell if we can. I don't know what kind of pace he'll have in that Mercedes. He may be able to keep up with us. The only saving grace we do have is there's not a lot of DRS zones around this track. Only the one on the front straight. So if we have better pace, we should be able to space it out. As Colapinto already right on the rear diffuser of Russell. Hopefully he can get by the young Brit as well. As Colapinto must be going for the two-stop strategy with the soft tire, as I just don't see any way he's going to make that tire last to the end of at least lap 13 or 12 where he'll be able to slap on a set of the hards. So we'll see how that works out. As one of us going for the 1-stop, the other going for the 2-stop. Also, Hamilton and Leclerc most likely going for the 2-stop as well. So if we can stay in a decent window and not let them build a pit stop gap to us, we could potentially challenge for a podium. Again, I don't want to... It's a little early to bring that up. Maybe they try to stretch those softs and then do a really long stint on the hards. I'm not exactly sure yet. But we'll have to see how it all plays out. As we already have a 1.5 lead on Colapinto here. He did manage to get by Russell. Will he be able to use the remaining grip on those softs before they run out and try to space out Russell? When will the softs fall off and the hards become a lot quicker? That's the question. And when that happens, will we be able to close in on Lewis? And maybe even Charles, if Max can make his way by him. Already gaining a couple tenths on Lewis there. George sticking with Colapinto, and we're spacing out the gap on Colapinto actually. Was 1.6 seconds last lap, now 2.5 seconds. 4th and 5th right now for Lamborghini. This is absolutely insane. I'm really hoping the 2-stop does work out for Colapinto. Norris now up to P6 on the softs. Looks like the softs lasting a lot better than I predicted. As Hamilton, the gap is kind of staying the same. He's not really catching Verstappen, and I'm not really catching him. So, the softs kind of not teetering off as much as I thought here. Let's see how long Colapinto will be able to hold off Lando Norris. Will Colapinto be able to hold Norris off for one more lap? This is the traditional overtaking spots. He'll either get him into the last chicane of the lap, or he'll get him on the front stretch here when he has the DRS. If he doesn't get him at either of those points, Colapinto will most likely be able to hang on for one more lap, as he is by Norris, using the better car there. Same tire life, just a lot quicker of a car. Colapinto doing what he can, but Norris making the expected move. Gap is down to 3.7 seconds on Hamilton, and I do believe Hamilton's going for a 2-stop. He's not getting that pit stop gap that he needs. He will get a massive undercut on me, as I have to take these tires to lap 13, and he'll probably pit around lap 7, 8, something like that. So he will get a big undercut too, so that'll factor into how much of a gap he'll have. But he will have to gain, I think, about 25 to 29 seconds for a pit stop, so it will be tough. Verstappen still hasn't made his way by Charles Leclerc. I don't know how much the gap is currently, if he is even close to getting by Charles, but if he isn't close, then that means that soft is hanging on a lot better than I predicted. The gap to Norris is starting to get a little bigger now, which is good, and the gap to Hamilton is getting smaller. So the softs finally starting to fall off a little bit. Which isn't good news for Colapinto, but that's great news for me, as Colapinto is still in P6, managed to hold off the hard and medium runners behind. He will have to make an extra pit stop, but he will undercut them massively. I'm really hoping that strategy works out for him and he can get at least the top 6 or 7 position. Gap is down to 2.6 seconds. We're reeling in Hamilton really nicely. The gap to Norris is maintaining at about 3.5, 3 seconds. Norris keeping those softs in a lot better window than Hamilton. Probably has a lot to do with how good the McLaren is. But every lap that Hamilton does is good for us because we're in the race. I just realized Charles Leclerc was passed by Max Verstappen for the lead, so the softs definitely falling off. As I'm wondering if Max is going for the 1-stop like me, or if he is going to try a 2-stop and he's starting on the mediums. I have to assume Max is doing a 1-stop. Red Bull always nails the strategy, and the 1-stop strategy is predicted to be a lot quicker. 2.2 seconds though to Hamilton. I have to assume he'll peel in this lap. I don't think he's going to go a lot longer than 8 laps. It'll either be this lap or next lap.
2.3 seconds.
He's going one more, because Leclerc's in. So he'll go lap 9, Leclerc goes lap 8. Okay. So I have to assume Colapinto's in. Yep. Mid in the pits. So this is the preferred lap to pit for all of the 2-stoppers.
Franco's coming in for his stop.
Gap is down to 1.8 seconds. Hamilton really struggling. Forced to do this extra lap on the softs. Wow, big snap from right there. That's confirmed though. Hamilton and Norris going for the 2-stop. Can I challenge for the podium? If the 1-stop is this
Reminder that you can play around with the RS modes in the MFD or lift sometimes and ease onto the brake pedal for some manual recharge.
If the one stop is as fast as predicted and is that much faster than the two stop, can I capitalize and maybe sneak away a podium from Lewis Hamilton? Woo! Big snap right there. Gotta be careful. Can't have anything like that cost me. We have a moment there as well. Gotta focus up. Put some good laps in. Max pitted. I didn't realize, but Max pitted. Max is going for the two stop. Oh, we may win this Grand Prix, guys. Max has to make up a whole pit stop on us. This is going to be interesting.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
Here we are, leading laps for Lamborghini on merit. The guys behind are catching me rapidly on those new tires. I will undercut them though whenever I go on the hards. I'll have pressure tires and then be able to run them down again. And then they'll have to pit again, and then it'll be a race to the finish. Can they catch me? We cannot afford another pit stop mistake like last week. Everything has to be perfect if we want to hold these guys off. One more lap after this and we get to bolt on a new set of tires. I cannot wait. Come on, Piastri, get those elbows out. Hold up Verstappen and Leclerc as long as you can. Leclerc electing to go to the hard tire. Verstappen on the medium. Verstappen was on the medium before, so that means he'll either have to go to the hard tire or the soft tire for his final stint.
Don't forget, box this lap.
Cannot have an incident like last week. We need a smooth pit stop. Woo, that was close. Oh, my heart.
Okay, off
Smooth
we go,
stop
back
though,
into
let's
the
go.
race. Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that.
Hamilton, Norris, all of them will most likely be ahead of me. They had a massive undercut on me.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled.
It's not a big
stops.
deal
Let's
though.
go.
They're on a lot different of a strategy than me. Just managed to stay ahead of Sonoda, which is absolutely crucial. The less cars we have to pass that will hold us up on the older tires, the better. Gotta get these hard tires fired up and in the right temperature window. Sonoda must have a lot newer tires than Norris, because he's a lot quicker. I have to remember, the softs did hold on a lot better than I thought they were going to in that first stint. Colapinto bolted on a second set of the softs. Staving his... I remember in qualifying, I was wondering why he didn't go for a second lap. He saved 2 sets for the race. Colapinto going for the double soft strategy. Will that work out for him? Into the pits goes Piastri.
Okay,
Lap
so leading our
16,
teammate
he's
by
for sure going for a one-stop as
3.0
well.
seconds.
Finally closing up to the back of Norris here. Gonna have to try to get by him on this next front straight. Can't let him hold us up for too long, and we can't stay in his dirty air for too long. Which Norris always seems to do. Use the battery, open the DRS, use the slipstream. Will we get close enough? Oh, we had to back out. I thought about it. But Norris slammed the door. Alright, here we go. Gotta use the battery. I need to be close into the chicane. Oh, he's in the pits. Perfect. Because I didn't think I was going to get him right there. Hamilton's in the
Okay,
pits
Franco's
too.
coming in for his stop.
All the double soft runners pitting again, so Sonoda's got to be soon. I think Leclerc and Verstappen have actually managed to almost get a pit stop gap on me. That's crazy. Verstappen, I think, will. Leclerc will be close.
I've got some information on Hamilton for you. Okay, they're out of this race.
More issues for Ferrari engines. A lot of retirements this year to start the year. As Leclerc's in the pits, he's going to throw on a new set of mediums. See where he comes out behind me. Five seconds back on a new set of mediums. Yeah, it'll be hard to hold off Leclerc. That means I think Max has effectively covered me off with his strategy, and he'll be able to get another pit stop again and be just ahead of me with his 23-second gap. Hopefully Leclerc's mediums will fall off quick. I don't think they will, especially with how long the softs lasted. But that's all I can hope for. That the hards are just going to be a lot better towards the end of the stint, because they just are more durable, last longer, even though I'm on them longer. They're just way more durable. I don't think it'll happen. Leclerc's going to be quick, as Verstappen, for the last 7 laps, bolts on a new set of the softs and just covers me off. So that's pretty much the Grand Prix win for Verstappen, unless there's a late race safety car or he has some reliability issues. He's going to be on the new softs and just be able to hammer it home the rest of the race. He's going to be very quick. Yeah, just good job, Verstappen. Great strategy as executed by Red Bull, and he really put it to perfection and used his pace to get a whole pit stop gap on me. Leclerc didn't manage to do it. Hamilton didn't manage to do it. No one else did, but Verstappen perfectly executed, able to get the pit stop gap to me. 32-second gap to call up Pinto. That is not what you want to hear. As obviously, he will be gaining every lap because he will be on a new set of the tires, a lot newer than mine. So the gap will be shrinking every lap. But I just don't think that strategy worked out as good as he would have wanted. I think he should have just went with the one stop like me. Wow, Leclerc is closing quick. Already in the DRS. This is going to be interesting.
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button a bit more.
Grabbing the slipstream. Will he be able to make a move into 130R? I'm just going to go in the middle of the track. Not able to make it there. He will have the DRS here, though, as Max Verstappen sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on the softs, to be expected, as he's just going to hammer it home and look to take his win. A little bit of weaving on the straight by me there, but not too bad. I think that was just barely acceptable. We're able to hold off Leclerc for one more lap. Every lap that we can hold him off, his mediums will get a little bit closer to my hards. Getting very impatient in the Ferrari. We're going to have to use all our battery down the front stretch here just to hold him off. He's going to try to go around us. We go to the inside to go defensive, and we're able to hold him off. He's trying to go around our outside here, but not a part of the lap that you're really going to be able to make a pass. Just have my battery switched off right now, and I'm trying to gain everything back so that I can go ahead and drain it, come to backstretch into 130R, and then the front stretch. It's the only way I'll be able to hopefully hold him off. Is wow, look at the run he gets with his battery switched on. I have the inside line there, though. I'm ahead, so I'm able to take the better line. This has allowed Oscar Piastri to really close in on us. I could have let Leclerc by, conceded the position, and tried to just fight for third, but I'm hanging it all on the line for P2. And this will allow Oscar to come into play as well. I'm draining all the battery. Leclerc is quick though. Now I'm going to be the one hanging it around the outside. Oh, I put a wheel in the grass. He gets a good run.
They might make a mistake and we could still regain the...
Charles Leclerc wants by. He has the slipstream. He has the new tires. A much faster Ferrari. He wants to get by here. I'm using everything I got. All the battery. We put a tire in the grass there. Trying to hang it around the outside through 130R. Get the car stopped and we're able to hold off Charles for one more lap.
Regain the position.
Who gets the DRS? Is it him? Is it me? I think that's the detection line. As no, I was the one who got the DRS. Beautiful. Now we switch off the battery in the part of the track where we know he can't pass. Now we can use all our battery again down these straightaways. Max Verstappen dominating another Japanese Grand Prix. He really just knows how to hook it up around this track as we're going to drain our battery here to try to hold off the Ferrari. 90%, so we have plenty. Not able to make the move there. Use our battery here. Leclerc will have the DRS this time though. We have a lot of battery to use though. We're going to use it all. Make our move down to the inside. He's going to try to sweep around us. We're going to brake as late as we can. Oh! And we just are able to hold off Leclerc. Switch our battery off. Get it back into that good window so we have enough to defend next lap. Oh no, what a mistake by us. Can we hold them off? Here's an outside look at the mistake that allowed Charles Leclerc to get by. After 3 laps of perfect defending, we go a little wide in the first Degna, put a tire in the gravel, and that allows the Monegasque driver to get under us and drive around us. And with those much fresher tires, it's going to be a challenge for us to get back by.
Here's some information on Russell for you.
Because of that,
from the race.
and more Mercedes failures. Another failure. Mercedes had a terrible first weekend of failures. Ferrari a bad second and third. Everyone having mechanical issues, as our mistake has allowed Leclerc to get through. Can we use our battery and try to get back to the Monegasque? We will have DRS down the front stretch. I don't think it's going to matter though. As I think that mistake has cost us any chance at second place on the podium. No! Whoa! What a snap. Okay, I'm conceding second. I was trying to catch Leclerc, and I really overheated the rears right there. I shut off my battery. I need to get it back in a good window these last few corners. Here's an outside look at the mistake that cost Oscar Piastri second place as we get a major snap of oversteer, and that catches Oscar out. He wasn't quite prepared to gain that much on us, locks up his fronts, and goes off into the gravel. And use it to hold off Oscar. As Piastri's made a mistake right there. I don't know what's happened. Piastri's dropped off though massively. As now it's all about just finishing. Being smooth, I switched it back into medium. 3 seconds to Norris. Once we get up to speed, I don't think he'll have enough to catch us. I'm not going to use battery till he does, if he does catch us. So we'll have battery to defend. It'll be one more time around this lap. What a thrilling Japanese Grand Prix. Would we have been able to hold off Leclerc if we didn't make that small mistake? I think potentially, but we'll never know. Not something to hold our head low about as we're still in P3. Great weekend for us.
Final lap, let's go. Final lap.
Hopefully Colapinto has had the same success with that two-stop strategy. Another great weekend for Juan Manuel Correa in terms of the Drivers' Championship. We actually may have a driver who finishes top 3 in the Drivers' Championship. Norris is absolutely rapid, closing that gap down to 1.5 seconds. Obviously on the really old hard tires, we're at a major disadvantage. Our battery's in a good window though, and I think he's just going to run out of time. As Max Verstappen wins in Japan, looking to continue his dominance from 2024. It might be a 5th World Drivers' Championship on the cards for Max as long as he can play the rest of the year right, and Red Bull can bring him some upgrades and bring the fight to McLaren in terms of who has the best car. But right now, Max is the best driver as he is.
Yes, and that's a podium. Excellent drive. The whole team have worked especially hard this weekend, and that, my friend, is a fantastic reward. Well done.
It's another victory and a champion's performance from Max Verstappen.
They led from lights out to the flag at the end, and their race victory was never in doubt, was it? Brilliant stuff by them.
Brilliant.
It's time for our podium celebrations. And as ever in Formula One, 3 is the magic number. And for those that have missed the Dutch national anthem, fear not. It's back again because Max Verstappen is back on the top step.
What a thrilling Japanese Grand Prix as double points for Lamborghini yet again. A super strong start to the year for us and Max Verstappen, as if we take a look at the Drivers' Championship, he is 15 points up on Lando Norris. Charles Leclerc trying to do the best he can in that Ferrari, 28 points back, and Juan Manuel Correa matching him, 28 points back only from P1 in the Drivers' Championship. Franco Colapinto gets his 2nd point in P14, and Lamborghini P4 in the Constructors with almost double Mercedes points. We're in a good spot. Hopefully we can catch Ferrari and McLaren, but if we want to do that, we're going to need Colapinto to start scoring some real points soon. With that being said, thank you to everyone who watched the video. Please like and subscribe, and you guys have a great day.